December's been a good month for us AI developers, and Claude Code's been putting out features left and right. I want to go over a few features that have not gotten as much hype, but are way more valuable in a lot of ways than stuff like the Claude in your browser, or even some of the sub agents that you've probably seen a lot of hype about. So these are more simple things that are overlooked, but will save you tons of time and make your code just a lot better. These are flying under the radar. And I saw a X post by a guy named Ado. So I'll put a link in the description where he made 29 days advent calendar of Claude Code features, and I want to review the most valuable ones now. So the first up on my list is plan mode. I think a lot of people don't know about this, but you can simply press Shift Tab and it will put you into plan mode where you can have a conversation with Claude Code. It won't execute any code. It's literally looking just to plan stuff with you, and you can create a plan with Claude Code. It will create a plan and then it'll show you the plan by pressing /plan. So to activate this, anytime you're chatting with Claude, just press Shift Tab and you can cycle through until you hit plan mode, and it will stay there and it won't execute anything for you. Then it will execute this plan. After you press /plan, you can see everything and just go through things step by step. This is good for smaller plans, but when I'm doing a big implementation, I still use the implementation plans in the Conductor framework. Next up on the list is custom commands, and this is a lifesaver, and you can build up your own library of custom commands that Claude Code will use. This is a great step for when you are doing a big implementation plan with something like the plans we just talked about, or in the Conductor framework, if you are in your workbench and you have a big implementation plan. Those are broken up into steps. And after you're done with an implementation plan, it's nice to just have Claude explain everything it did to you. So I have a custom command saved where I'm like, explain the step, and it'll explain everything to me in plain English and concise bullet points. And it's just much easier for me to review. So after I'm done with a step in an implementation plan, I can just do /explain plan, and it will explain the plan up to that point. This is a great one. This is good for if you want things committed to GitHub in a certain way and you're working on feature branches. You can just build up your entire library of custom commands. I might start releasing some of mine because I'm trying to build up my library and get to the habit of using these more and more. Next up on the list is reverse search. So this is great. Instead of retyping to find prompts that you might have had in the past, so you might have had a prompt or a chat that you had with Claude and you can't quite remember it, you can reverse search and it will just pull that prompt back up for you. This is a lifesaver if you're having just very extensive conversations with Claude, and it makes everything a lot easier. You literally just press Control+R while you're in the chat and you can start typing, and it will find the keywords and pull up your previous prompts. And then you can, I think, just press Tab and it will fill that in, and you can just modify your search or press enter and enter it again. Great thing if you have a poor memory like me. Next up is Claude init. And this is something I forgot to use yesterday, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but it's a real pain in the ass when you are using Claude and you're like explaining things back and forth to it and telling it where different files are and things like that. And you remember, oh, I didn't run a Claude init command on this. Essentially what this does is when you run /init for Claude, Claude will go in and create a file. It will review your entire project folder system, and it will make a list and an index of everything it needs to remember and all the important parts. And it will make a little claude.md file and store all that stuff there. So every time it's doing something, it references that to see where important things are. And you can go in and edit that file too. When you have done a lot of work, you can come back and just run /init again, and it will refresh and recreate the claude.md file. So Claude always has a 30,000 foot view of what's happening in your project. I screwed this up yesterday when I was explaining that I needed a scraper to run out and do something for my one-man media empire prompt. And it kept on saying, you know, I will use the API for this. But the thing is the API I was using didn't have a certain feature. And I remember that I didn't run Claude init after my last feature build. So it didn't know that it was using a scraper instead of an API. And I was having a back and forth with it. And I forgot to use Claude init. It's one simple command and then it saves you all. It would have saved me 20 minutes of frustration yesterday. Next up on the list is @mention. This one's been around for a while, but this is great to use when you want Claude to reference a specific file, or you can do multiple files or do work in a specific file. Sometimes with all AI agents, they get a little happy with what they're doing and they will just make code changes all over the place, or they might not know exactly the file you're referencing. And all you need to do here is put @mention or type the symbol. You'll look like this. If you're looking up like JSON packages, you'll put @package and a little window will pop up where it will show you everything that matches those key characters. You can just cycle through those, press tab, and they will populate. And now you can tell Claude exactly where to go in your code. A lot of you might know about this, but I forget to use it a lot of times. And this really helps. Another great thing is if you're using Whisper, which I'll put a link to that in the description too. I don't even type anymore pretty much because I use Whisper, but it's great doing this and picking it up through Whisper commands when you're just telling Claude Code what to do through your microphone. Great one. I forget to use it a lot of times and it costs me because I can't be as precise as I should be sometimes when I'm working with Claude. And last but not least is this one. It's YOLO mode. YOLO mode takes away all permissions. It will do whatever it wants whenever it wants. And in order to do this, you literally just type in Claude dangerously skip permissions. And even in the documentation, I believe they say this is super dangerous. Don't use it. If you're going to use it, I would use it with an implementation plan like we have in the Conductor framework, where it is literally step by step. And once you're in here and once it's going, it'll execute any command at once. It has access to search. It can do destructive commands. So be careful. I don't really use this much. I've played around with it, but it still scares me and I don't trust the AIs enough to just use YOLO mode. It's great for if you're doing something like after this, I'm going to go cook breakfast. I guess I could line up a whole feature and say, go implement this, and it would, and I wouldn't have to monitor it all. So if you're brave, use YOLO mode. But that's it. I hope this helped. I know there's a lot of hyped features out there, and those are great, but sometimes we can forget these features that have come out that are super helpful, very simple, but don't get as much of the limelight as some of the more high profile features that have come out. If you're watching, I am releasing version 2 of the Conductor framework today, so it should be out this afternoon. Knock on wood, we'll see how that goes. But you can go to testandprod.co and get that. Please let me know how you like it. I got good feedback on the first version of this, and I'll see how you like the second version. We'll talk to you tomorrow.